Dive bomb! Boom!
Fuck you, wife!
Uh-oh, he's going over to the Bowflex. He's going over to the Bowflex. Uh-oh. Oh, he's choking himself out. He's choking himself out. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, he's a champion again. Oh. Welcome back to Cream Crew.
Hi, Flash gets Tom.
Don's dead.
He died. Thank fuck. Literally.
Hey, Don, how you feeling?
Every time he answers the phone.
Hey, man. Just seeing how you're doing.
The Delta! What's the Delta, Don? Are you feeling better, bud?
We started flying. Yeah. But no, he's dead. He's gone. We're trying to find a new person. If there was a person to replace Don, who would we do it? Or would we just do it me and you? I feel like then it isn't a crew. 2 people isn't a crew.
That's true. More of a duo.
Mm-hmm. Who would replace him?
I mean, who could replace him? I think is more of the question. Who could chip in maybe once every episode in a low grumble? Offer absolutely nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Just who could we get?
Who could? It's mostly who could be the scarecrow to distract the birds from when we record. That's the thing, though, is that you can find a fat Southern man, like you can find the stereotypical fat guy. So I'm very replaceable. I feel like it'd be harder to find a British person or somebody that's like, you know, eccentric and racist and does all the kind of
I was waiting for it.
But Don's an interesting character because he's a man of few words, and like I said, he's a scarecrow. He's a kind of Slender Man-esque person. Those are hard to come by. You don't find this very much, and also he's in the animation community. So, and I feel like you have all your pre-established other bullshit YouTube people. So I feel like you need to find somebody on the up and up, or you need to find somebody that could fit the role perfectly. And I feel like he's irreplaceable.
That's a bold statement.
I'm gonna have to stand by it.
Put a low pass filter on any 28-year-old white male in America.
Don though, but they have to have the spirit of a 57-year-old man with the famine mentality of a person that it's like he has a famine mentality of a person who had their house swept away by Hurricane Katrina in the early 2000s.
So we need a 57-year-old white man from Louisiana.
Yeah.
And,
Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Whatever. Same thing. And that will be our... Yeah, that might get in a good approximation, to be fair.
Can you imagine that? Putting out a calling card, the first person we get is like really tall, comes in.
Hello, I'm Daniel. Yeah, like, huh? Oh, God, I don't feel so good, you guys.
I think I'm sick. You're like, get him out. We need a new one. We will say, though, that... I hate to even harp on it even more, but Don is definitely the biggest hypochondriac I've ever seen in my life.
He thinks he will die.
He worries himself into a fucking tiffy every time. I've never seen somebody get the common cold before and then work themselves up into where they think Advil PM is going to
make them high. Yeah, we were... For the viewer, Hunter was at my house, we were in my home office or whatever, and I rang Don just to check on a work situation. And obviously he starts so Don has COVID, even though he's double vaccinated. He caught COVID from Comic-Con. Bear in mind, me and Hunter, we went to Kansas City Comic-Con.
Yep.
Me and Hunter did not catch a single thing.
No.
We spent 10 hours in a car with Don whilst he was sick.
4 days with Don, convention, everything. Also, my wife was there. She got back. She started jogging. She was feeling so good. It's 100 degrees in Texas, and
she's like, I've never felt better.
Like, I felt great. And then all of a sudden, on the way home, Don, he was letting out all these fucking hot, airy farts. It was I've never seen a man. Basically, he didn't get 12 hours of sleep. Therefore, he was just like, I think I'm feeling bad. He's and for people that don't know, have actually been around a hypochondriac. Basically, what happens is you immediately go online and then you type in
like WebMD.
What are the symptoms of this, and immediately you're like, you get chills. He's like, oh, oh my god, it's a blizzard in here. Oh, so anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, so he caught Comic-Con at COVID somehow. Couldn't have been that he
caught COVID at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You said he caught Comic-Con at COVID.
Okay, well.
It was just silly.
Whoopsie. Brain fart.
I just know there's going to be some fucking douchebag in the comments that's just like...
Yeah, okay, I made a mistake, everyone.
And then they could comment it and then, you know...
That doesn't seem like it would have been as bad as what just happened.
It's presentable. All right, anyways, go ahead.
Okay, so Don caught Comic-Con at COVID. It couldn't have been that he was in the crowds like 90% of the convention, taking phone calls every 5 minutes.
I've never seen a man... I've actually... When I was in New York, I've actually met a stockbroker before, and that man took less calls than Don did at Comic-Con. It was almost as if Don was doing some kind of like overseas transaction the entire time. And then when he wasn't on the phone, he was just kind of tucked away on his tablet. And people would be like so many people would be like, oh, Don, whatever. And then we'd have to be like, hey, Don. And he's like, I'm busy. Making a tarot card for his room.
Sorry, I got a call. I'll be back in 50 minutes.
He'll be back. And it was hours sometimes.
Yeah, no.
What was he doing on those phone calls? When he gets back, we're going to... he's dead, so we can't. But I'm going to try to get a fucking... like a person that can speak beyond and try to ask, what was he doing on those calls?
We should have done a seance of Don.
Maybe
That's what they should have been.
Yeah, we
Seance of Don Gregor, get a Ouija board.
We should have, but with everything in life, I feel like even when Don dies and he's going through purgatory,
yeah, he won't pick up the phone.
Well,
he won't pick up the purgatory phone.
He won't pick up the phone, and it's going to take him. Like people are going to be like, Can you just let's finish this. Get up there and get on to heaven." It's going to take forever. I feel like he's the kind of ghost that's going to be in purgatory.
I don't want to get all the angels sick. What am I going to do? I don't want to get God ill.
But anyway, so he called.
Yeah, so he called. Sorry, that was a long preamble. But we're in my office, and I called him because I needed some work thing, and he answers, and the first thing he does is go,
I will, to a point to where it did feel like an act. Like if I'm being honest,
if I was a betting man,
I am not totally convinced that Don is sick. I think that he has worked himself into a frenzy, and also these two are also going on break soon. So I think that I feel like this is an extension of Don. I feel like he's going home. He's tap dancing. You know,
everybody know! You know how to do it!
So he's sitting there and he's doing that. But I've never even I've had grandparents that I've visited while they were dying and stuff, right? And like sometimes they're like your lungs fill up, like moisture gets in your lungs or whatever. And my grandma, who had 2 collapsed lungs, whatever, on life support, whatever, never once gave that kind of performance. So he
just hangs up the phone and gets an Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. It was like he wouldn't get an Oscar. It felt like a 3rd grade play. I mean, it was like, "Hey man, you there?" Because it was like one of those things where you answer, and like the person that you called doesn't say hello, which is like an indicator of like, "Hello, yes, I have received your call."
Yeah, just heavy breathing.
So it's just like, and he's just like, and you're like, hey man, are you there? Which in terms was just like, "Oh, I'm dying." Oh, this is what dying sounds like.
Well, then to top it all off, like I was like, "Well, can you like take a look at this thing or whatever? I'm blocked. I need to move forward to something else that I can't do until he has seen and responded to something."
Until you get the group approval.
He's like, "Oh, my head just I can't think straight right now. I took some medication. Like, it's really weird. I feel high."
And it poses the question, because I was like, because when he said that in the moment, I really didn't think about it, but it made me think. I'm like, at first I was like, did he take a muscle relaxer? Did he take like Xanax? Did he take something to like? I'm like, what? I'm like, no, he probably literally took Tylenol or Advil, and he's thrown himself into so much of a frenzy. He's like, this is what being high feels like. Also, though, it's definitely one of those things too. I think where it's like so, someone's like, "Oh, I feel so woozy or lightheaded," and it's like, "Well, you're sick and you haven't eaten, so your calories really low, low blood sugar." I feel like it's just one of those. Or so sick. It's like, or Don's girlfriend's like,
You can make you some. I can make you something.
Oh, thank you, baby. Oh, so thank you so much. I love you. So sick. I can't. I don't want to hold a sharp object right now. I'm too dizzy. I can't.
I might fall on it and die.
I'm gonna kill myself with it.
Well, here's the thing: is like, so you think it'd be serious because he's saying things like, "Oh, my chest is tight."
yeah,
He thinks he's gonna have a heart attack or he's gonna like go into the ICU or whatever it is.
right.
Don, before COVID had even reached Texas, would read news articles about COVID and get a tight chest. Pure, like, and think he had COVID.
I like to think he has a newspaper though.
The broadsheet.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, I've got this for sure. I'm playing. This is real rough. I'm gonna isolate immediately.
And I'm not gonna say that the COVID thing is like serious. Obviously, it's very infectious. Blah blah blah. People have died from it.
Yeah.
But the death rate is lower than 1%.
I mean,
I think.
and he's double vaccinated. When you're vaccinated, you have like way less chance of bad symptoms.
You can get it still, but like usually it won't even have like symptoms, or it will just be like a minor.
Yeah. So like the chances of he's young, really young, healthy guy, doesn't really smoke.
Yeah,
doesn't
like
drink.
the age of death is like average age of death is like over 70. I feel like
just to paint the picture that like Don will not go into the ICU.
yeah,
he just
I
won't.
just don't believe it.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
He was telling me the timeline the other day. He was like,
Well, we're in the danger zone now. It's between 7 and 10 days. That's when you either get better or go to the hospital.
and I'm like, you're not gonna go to the hospital. It's like,
We'll see.
It's one of those things too where this is the problem with being around the Flash Gets guys though too, is that it's like they're being irrational, but it's always backed up by some kind of like science or fact. So it's like hard to argue against it. So whenever you're like, you ever think this might be psychological, Don? Well, I mean, studies show this or that, whatever, and you're like, okay.
but the thing is like it totally could be psychological because he was having psychological reactions before by reading news about COVID.
He also he thought he remembered a memory, but it was a Bob's Burgers episode.
That's my favorite thing ever.
I mean, like to actually think that a memory of yours.
That's insane.
It's insanity.
That is like scary to me.
So that's one of those things where if he could ever take a step back and be like, I don't think rationally, it could help him probably.
That's the thing. Like he always relies on his mind, like it's this.
Yeah,
really
it's a steel trap.
Yeah, it's.
But if you
thing.
ever look at this podcast, if you ever watch any of these videos of podcasts, go through every single one of them. If he is not talking, he looks like a horse. This is Don every podcast. I almost expect like a fly to land on his eye, and he's just like
he just blinks.
yeah.
But even to the point where it's like, often me and Dom will have like an argument about something. I'm like, we said we would do X or this would happen or Y, and he's like, I remember, I vividly remember. And I'm like, Don, your memory is not something we can rely on.
Dude, I can smell the memory. I can feel it.
It's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this man has way too much faith in his own mental. I mean, to be fair, his brain is powerful. It can send him into like anaphylactic shock just by thinking about it.
His brain is so powerful that it can trick his body into thinking that it's gonna die.
Yeah,
his body shuts down from his own brain. It's a pretty powerful thing.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So maybe, I mean, fair dues. Maybe I'm wrong.
I think that the thing too is that I was almost never doubting that he was going to go to the ICU for COVID, but I did think he would kill himself just by his brain tricking him.
Just by
He's just like,
his brain's like, you have leprosy.
There's and his arm falls off.
Oh my god, what happened?
Don's brain is so powerful it can manifest him.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's its own conscious being.
Aren't they all?
No, because it has multi consciences.
Oh, right. It delineates its body from itself.
Its brain is its own
yeah,
entity.
yeah, that's fair.
It's like it's Don's puppet master.
What a terrible puppet master it is.
It's juggling around.
It's just like
all the strings are tied up. He's like, oh shit.
Looks like the wacky inflatable arm guy.
I guess to make a callback to the future, though. So yeah, he's dead. He's gone. He's dead.
The Lord.
And the world's a little better for it. But Comic-Con, if you guys stopped by, thank you.
Yeah, it was fucking dope seeing people, man. Me and Don didn't advertise even a bit, and we still got recognized by people who came up to the Hunters thing, which was nice. The reason we didn't even advertise is because we thought like no one would show up or care. So the fact that people recognized us,
I thought the same thing.
Well, that was retarded though. That was super retarded.
Well, you guys have been around for 10 years. I haven't been around that long.
Yeah, but we have like faded into the mist.
So. But it was cool. There was even some people that Cream Crew listeners that came up, and that was fun. All sorts of good stuff.
Funnily enough, the Cream Crew people were literally the most well-adjusted in the whole. Of all the people who came, it went like this. It went like Cream Crew most adjusted, Flash Gits medium adjusted, Meat Canyon fans. Whew.
That's a rude thing to say, and I will say that everybody that I met was a complete delight. I didn't have one. Everybody was so nice. It was ridiculous. I've never had so many fucking nice people.
I'm gonna sow some doubt in people's minds listening to this. Some of you Meat Canyon fans, maybe on the spectrum, a touch.
I am as well.
Yeah. The stories I could tell, but I won't. I don't want to upset people genuinely, but
yeah, well, it was a Comic-Con, so sociability was a bit
limited. but why was there such like a perfect gradient of like rationality? There was.
I really don't
Meat
think there
Canyon,
was.
Flash Gits,
I feel like you're dramatizing in
Cream
your
Crew.
head rose goggles a bit.
Really? I mean, I will say this, to be fair, with the volume of people you had, it was almost inevitable that more of them would be kind of crazy. But the counterpoint is that with the less volume of people who know about your stuff, you would think that maybe there'd be more fanatics among them. So, I don't know. All I know is that, like, Cream Crew guys were like, hey, man, how's it going? What's going on? Like, cool. Flash Gits
really? Is
guys
that
are
what
like,
happened?
yeah, they were like, oh, what's up?
Oh, that's right. Okay. I remember it a tad
Yeah.
differently, but all right.
No. They were like, oh, Cream Crew, oh, that's awesome. Where's Don? Who cares? Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Flash Gits, they were like, hello, it's nice to meet you. Meat Canyon, it was literally just like,
It was the best.
25 cents is all it takes.
There was a lot of people who walked up and they just the people that walked up and didn't say anything besides just a quote. That was a bit.
Well, I don't want to, call anyone out specifically.
I'm not saying even the people that did that. It was still there's still a place of love that came from that, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But it does make me feel like a little bit like a fucking like circus animal or something. And it's like, oh, thanks.
You were performing. Someone even got me to do the fucking Flash Gits noise.
I know. I heard it and I was like, yeah.
You were like,
Yes, because you guys were shitting on me before because people asked me to do some lines, and when you're put in that in that situation moment, you feel bad because it's like, I mean, I don't want to be a dick and say no.
Plus,
or whatever,
they came all this way. A lot of people were like, I came just to see you.
Yeah,
and
it
it's
was
like,
cool.
all right. I mean,
Yeah.
fair enough. Well, it was that group of dudes, right? There was like that big group of like Hispanic dudes, and those were the guys that made me do the Flash Gits sound once again. The banditos got me. They were really cool though. I signed all their swords and shit, and
The
knocked over one of their
event
drinks.
felt much larger than what I remember.
it was probably literally is larger than you remember.
It was a pretty good size, but yeah, I tried on my second channel at the end of one of the videos. I had like a little bit of clips from it, and it was fun. It was cool. It was a good experience. I'm hoping to do it. I know that we had some people asking to do the Dallas fan con thing or something. I don't know if I would do another table, but I would certainly.
How many times are we going to give Don COVID?
I'm not.
We're going to
taking him
take
anywhere
him
again.
Oh, really? Why not?
Well, I'll tell you another reason why I'm not going to take him anywhere is because the motherfucker wasn't there to enjoy half of it. Like he was gone. I can't. Like I know we were joking around a lot before, but like he seriously was gone so much from the table.
Yeah.
Like to a point to where like I was like kind of bummed a little bit. I was like, where is he? Like what the fuck is like? This is supposed to be memories forming and stuff. And to be fair, like
This is a memory.
it
A
is.
memory of disappointment.
It is a memory. Yeah, it's like a dad walking out on you or something. And to be fair, I was a little bit busier than I expected to be, and I wanted to like pal around more.
We
And
did tell you that you were going to be swamped.
it was pretty busy, but I was also like, it was mostly because I was running like the transactions and stuff. So it was a
Yeah.
lot of like back and forth, and you don't want to be a dick, so you're like trying to like talk with people and
Yeah.
stuff. So it was cool though. I feel like everybody around me hated our table. The people to our left were cool, but the people like around us, there's this person right across from us, and whoever that fucking guy is, he can. That guy,
a dick.
That guy was such a fucking chode. He was doing like spray paint art of like Joker and stuff like that. Suck my cock, dude.
Isn't it cool?
He's like sitting there, and like he kept like looking over at the table, like while there's people, and he kept like shaking his head, like no, and then like, you know, people were like lined up or whatever, and it's like, what the fuck, like. Oh, am I stopping your giant flow? You're doing spray paint Jokers at a Comic-Con. How the amount of people that draw the exact same shit at that con is crazy.
Yeah, I don't get how they don't see that it's like not a viable idea. I mean, maybe it is. Maybe that's why they all do it. But
I mean, I can see that people have the passion for being like, if you're like,
I love the Joker.
well, some people are super inspired by that shit. You know,
He's so cool.
and I understand, and I understand all that, but it just feels like
There was-
to be fair, anybody else would be like, oh, this is cool, but that guy, just because he was a dick, I'm like, your shit's stupid.
well, there was also that Asian girl who I felt so bad for. There was this basically.
She looked very sweet too. I felt so bad.
Yeah, no, she was selling her little Pikachu charms or whatever the fuck, and maybe like one person a day, 2 people a day went up to her.
It's brutal, man.
Yeah, like this woman clearly is super passionate about the stuff she makes, and no one gave a fuck. And it's like that's part and parcel. Like you're gonna get that,
Yeah,
but
that's part of it. But it's just like to
be juxtaposed to the constant fucking stampede of autistic people just like running to your table, it must have like hurt to watch.
I think in a regard, I mean, I've even been like even before all the YouTube stuff, even like when I was younger, going through Artist Alley, and like you kind of like see people getting judged for their art just by passing by,
Yeah, they just someone like looks and they're like,
and then they look for a second, and then they just like go. It's just like it's like immediate kind of like, oh, okay, so I'm not captivating anybody or something. It kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, too, it's like those cons, man. It's very linear. People are there for like more like I think memorabilia and stuff, and I think people in the Artist Alley are there just to get some eyes on their stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can go to like especially like a Kansas City Comic-Con and be like, I'm gonna make big profit. You know, it's just not that kind of thing.
Comic-Con, yeah.
Versus like independent art fairs and stuff, people make a killing because they're there because they want to buy art.
Yeah, I mean, you got to know your audience and where they're going
Right.
to be. But like, yeah,
But it was cool. My wife had a table up there, had some buddies up there.
She did good,
and
too.
She did good, and that was like the main reason I even went though. So I was like, it just felt like an excuse to go. And also, I'm from Kansas City, so I got to see family and stuff.
it was always really funny to see people be like, oh, you know, how'd you like Kansas City? And you're like, I'm from here. And they're like, oh, but no way.
from here.
You're like, I'm from here,
They're like,
partner.
really?
Yeah, oh,
like,
boy.
hey,
You do it now. Yeah, you will start doing some of this.
yeah, don't tear my heart, my achy breaky heart. yeah.
I had a good time, man. I enjoyed it. It was fun. I think it was probably about the right amount of time. Felt like if I had been there for a couple more days, I would have started going loopy.
I feel like at this age, that's me with any place, honestly.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you were also like purposefully sleep depriving me on purpose.
No,
So
it's not true.
there
is that morning or whatever. That was pretty fun.
that one night where like I woke up at like 2 a.m.
I was trying to upload my cartoon. I was trying to get the shit going.
You weren't. You were like fucking with scenes. You were like editing scenes or something.
What's I mean? It's for my cart. I was
Right,
trying to get
right,
my
yeah.
shit going
At 2 a.m.
Yeah,
Bear in mind, like Hunter passed out at like 9 o'clock.
yeah. I got home. I was exhausted.
Yeah, so you just went to sleep. I too was exhausted. Then I went to sleep like an hour later, and I just wake up to like
My old ass MacBook,
his like 1998 PowerBook.
2011
Yeah. I'm like,
typewriter.
yeah. I literally like, I let it go on because I'm far too polite as an Englishman for like an hour. And then I text like, hey man, it's kind of loud or whatever. You're like, sorry. And then you're like, okay, I'm just going to do one more thing. And then I'm going to turn it off till 8 a.m.
first
Promise.
off, no.
Promise.
No, first
I've
off-
got the text.
No, well, first off, I meant the context in which you're saying it. I was like, hey. It was more like, all right, tiny dancer with your fucking like. I mean, like, Tom is the kind of person I can't imagine falling asleep in his house. It's like a fucking breeze gusts by and he like fucking throws himself up like the lightest sleeper I've ever met.
You're a breeze. Is that what you are? You're a breeze.
I mean, I'm using that a tiny breeze. No, I'm a thunderstorm.
Yeah, you
But what
fucking as you're like pacing around the room past my mattress on the floor, just like
Old wooden floors. Old wooden floors. Yeah. Yeah.
I was a breeze, dude. How'd you wake up?
Dude, I'm a whisper. How'd you wake up from that?
So then you say like I won't do anything until 8 a.m., which I graciously accepted. I'm like, I'm in this man's house. He's got to do his cartoon. I get it. Fine. I wake up not 1.5 hours later to.
Couldn't fall asleep. I was panicking too much about the scenes and stuff. I was freaking out.
I see this man. I see this silhouette. This mountain under a fucking sheet.
Under the blanket. I was trying because at first I was like, oh well, maybe if I can try to make the keys a little more subtle and stuff, and I'll put the blanket over me so the light it isn't brightening up the room.
Just the light just shining through the sheets. You just created like a lampshade for yourself.
I try. It wasn't a thin sheet. I think it might have just been a thin blanket. But in good conscience, I was doing that. But more of a story is from that. I know it's a shocker, but he woke back up.
I just hearing you like under there, like a fucking autistic person trying to hide there. You know, like when kids try and hide that they're doing something and it's so obvious. That was you.
Yeah.
And then he was like, "Oh, I can't sleep. You want to go get breakfast?" It's like 5 a.m.
That's a good time for a good breakfast, early breakfast.
And then he was like, "Oh, well," I'm like, "Well, I'm going to be awake a few hours, I guess, just like on my phone because I can't get to sleep that easy." And then, lo and behold, I hear the thunderous snores. You fall back asleep.
Yeah, immediately.
You're like, "I can't sleep." And then you're just like,
"Yep, that's me." Yep,
and I'm up for the rest of the night. I just can't do it. So,
to be fair, you two are both delegate rosebuds, and you require
kind of like a Ferrari F1 supercar.
Yeah, in a way where it's like it's so fine tuned that the slightest scratch completely corrupts the whole system.
Well, when you're going like 220 miles per hour.
Well, no,
I'm sorry.
No, yeah, you guys go real fast.
Yeah.
Will you guys take a break already?
we will.
But no. It was very fun watching these guys get less sleep than they're used to. It was that was a big part of the joy of that for me. That within itself was worth it. And also, to be fair, you guys didn't have to drive. You had all the opportunity to take naps and do whatever on the drive home. I manned it all.
Yeah, no, you did. Fair play. Even when you were like almost paralytic drunk, you wanted to drive. You're like, "I'm fine."
Healthy.
You're like, "I'm fine." I'm like, "I don't think you are." "Oh, I'm good, dude." You've just done like 3 fucking Jello shots, drinking whiskey, Cokes and Jacks. Luckily, we convinced him not to drive, but it did make you very grumpy. You were very upset, and then you got home and you were on the couch, like, "Mom, I need a bucket."
I did say that. As soon as I laid down, my equilibrium fucked up, and I had the spins, but didn't use it. But it's mostly just because I didn't want to Bon Scott myself, throw up and you choke on and die.
Oh no, you were gonna do that. I literally said to your wife, "Do you think we should roll him over?"
So she's like, "He's fine."
No, she was like, "Yeah, probably." And so, she rolled you over. You're welcome.
Well, I didn't
Bon
do
Scott.
It. There was one time when I got really drunk when I was like, I think I was maybe 21. It may have been 20. I can't remember. But I was really drunk and I was at my apartment living with these this other couple.
Yeah.
We had some friends over and we drank just like so much. And I can't remember if I might have told this story, but I woke up, went to the bathroom, and there was throw up all over the floor. And I was like, "Oh my God, my roommate got so drunk and he threw up all over the floor. What a fucking idiot." Just tons of throw up. And I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to clean it up." And I went back into my room. What I didn't see was on the side of my bed was just all the throw up going down the side of the bed and on the floor. And I was like, at some point during the night when I was sleeping, I threw up while I was unconscious. And then I sat there and I was like, "Man, that... okay, well, no more Fireball." And I went in there and I was like, "Well, I guess I should probably clean up the bathroom before those people get up."
Fuck,
almost
dude.
Bon Scott myself, though.
Yeah, so you've come close to that brush with death, and you still do it.
To be fair, though, that was like the first time I'd gotten drunk in a long time.
Oh, what? Back at the
Kansas
Kansas Comic Con?
Yeah.
It was cool, man. You did some karaoke?
Yeah, my buddy's bar. I rented out a bar for me and my friends and stuff, and it was really fun. It's like a good amount of people showed up. It was fun.
No one wanted to follow you on karaoke because you can't follow that performance.
And being apart ain't easy on this love affair. Two strangers
can I say? My voice was fucked though. Thank
Only
you, but-
towards the end.
Yeah, but whenever you drink and yelling and talking and stuff, your voice just gets fucked.
Yeah.
Alcohol is not favorable to your voice.
Yeah, funny then that that's the perfect time everyone wants to karaoke.
Sí, señor.
But yeah, and also a new episode of Monster Lab comes out this week. It's been a fucking nightmare of an episode. Tons of like edits and stuff in terms of like something that sucks about animation is like sometimes like you can't really tell like in theory shots work together. And then whenever it plays back and like the final thing is there, it just is not at all what you were expecting.
How does that happen?
I think like in terms of like actual full animation stuff, I think sometimes things in boards are a little more captivating than they are whenever it's fully realized or whenever like effects are put in or sound or
It's
whatever.
kind of interesting.
All that kind of shit just tallies up, and I think that like I want to like be sure that like I can take care of those things, but then also like be stoked about what I'm doing still. Mm-hmm. So it's it's a fucking,
Gives me the spooks.
yeah. I mean, it's always something where it feels like you never know when your time's coming up, because there's going to be a day too where like, who knows, like we either stop doing the YouTube thing or like people stop giving a fuck about whatever. So I'd like to enjoy the time that I have. And I think a part of that too is like, while you have that kind of relevance or while you have that kind of spark to create, you're doing stuff that you're like super passionate about. That being said, you know, I was the person that was working the regular job, and I was like, I want to make stuff too. And I enjoyed growing up watching the parodies and stuff. And that's why I did it. And I still enjoy making it, but there's certainly things where I'm like, passion projects of wanting to feel like super respected and like feel like you're making work that can be like stand by and be proud of and stuff.
Yeah.
Or you can just like, you know, Chris Benoit it.
That's what I've been thinking. Just fucking...
Chris Benoit.
What's it? He does this.
Yeah. Boom!
Boom! Take that!
He's got her by the choker!
Yeah. Oh!
Dive bomb! Boom!
Fuck you, wife!
Uh-oh, he's going over to the Bowflex. He's going over to the Bowflex. Uh-oh. Oh! Oh, he's choking himself out! He's choking himself out! Oh, 1, 2, 3! Oh, he's a champion again! Oh!
And it, 1, 2, 3! Woo! What a fucking sport. What a man's sport.
What a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. What a mighty good man. Mighty good man.
I was watching that episode of South Park the other night where Carmen's hand is Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah, it's so good.
Jennifer Lopez.
Taco burrito.
Taco kisses.
I miss you. I love you.
It's that show, man. It's so upsetting how much they got away with.
Yeah, that you're unable to do with now.
It's like if we did those jokes on YouTube, like YouTube would delete the channel.
I mean, yeah.
It's so sad.
I mean, like, it is, and it's one of those things. I mean, I don't know. You guys, I mean, it's just one of those things, too, where they did it back in the day, even when people were still upset about it. Not to the extent that they are now to where it can end your career, but now even they could probably still do something, and it's just like, well, it's South Park. Like, they had that kind of
That's the real
write-off.
That's the real fucking dream.
That's the power.
Make enough goddamn money that you just make the actual show no holds barred. Doesn't
make it
matter what the
whatever.
fuck happens.
Right.
Dude, unleash me. When that day comes,
me!
I just want to make funny shit. Is that a goddamn crime? Is it?
Release me. I want to be released.
That's my soul.
I'm gonna say the N-word.
No!
I'm gonna say it.
That's it's a new cartoon in the works. That's called SpongeBob Says the N-word.
I'm gonna say it.
Hunty, you look uncomfortable. Oh, I got just fucking dripping sweat like Jordan Peele.
Yeah. The look over thing.
It's gonna be good. I hope you guys like SpongeBob Says the N-word.
I hope you guys like all the content coming out, man.
I hope they like that one in particular.
Just that one only.
Only all the rest, but that one is a true passion project.
Yep. Now I'm all fixated because I have to leave soon because I have a massage.
If you were married, and she was like,
I can give you happy ending.
No,
No.
no. You wouldn't just.
Also, I
cheeky-
have never gotten a.
I can give you happy ending.
I've never had an Asian give me a massage.
Okay, bit racist, but fine.
Well,
Why in particular will you not allow Asians to give you massages?
I would, but I just haven't. I didn't want you to assume, with like happy ending like that because you said that in that manner too.
Right.
So I wanted to make sure and delineate that it's not like I'm going to those places where they would even offer.
Oh, you're not going to China Foot Spa.
No. Although my mom is, we've
You get pedicures. Don't change the subject. Who are you going to?
I go to a place, a chain called Massage Envy.
That sounds kind of seedy.
Exactly. They're like, all right, we do have a lavender ambiance. I'm like, okay, that's nice. She's like, all right, I'm gonna beat your dick now. Thank you.
I mean, so you
would, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
You-
of course.
Really?
Why not? I mean, okay, let's
Wait, did you say if you weren't married?
weren't married.
Oh, I
If
see.
you had
still
no, like, and if you could take out the whole like person trafficking aspect, because I'm pretty sure those petite Asian women probably don't want to be there.
Yeah.
So if you could take that side of it out and get a massage and it ends with a little tug, no,
No, probably not.
why not?
I just don't. I doubt that.
What if they wore a glove?
I don't think it really has to do with things sanitary. I think it's just I don't really. It just doesn't sound very appealing, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, okay, well, you don't like
You're also
to
a person
ejaculate?
you're a person that likes to pay for sex.
Okay, never have I once ever paid for sex, but
Well, you've said that you would.
I would if I wasn't married.
Well, but you said that
Like an escort?
you
You wouldn't have
You told
four
me-
fucking like perfect, beautiful women giving you the tongue tornado for I don't know how much it would cost.
I think that's a
but, like,
European thing, Tom.
it's a person thing, Hunter.
I don't.
You're a
I have
red-blooded
never
male.
I have never wanted to have a prostitute.
It's not a process. Okay, first off,
That's what it is.
escort.
You can call
it's
it
a
whatever
real.
the
It's a
fuck you
real.
want.
Sex work is real work,
It's
bro.
like-
Sex work is real work.
They take credit cards. Okay?
Yeah, okay, Hunter,
have
it's
Venmo.
legit. Yeah, that's right. They got Venmo. I don't know if it's is it just a European thing? It is,
I feel
it
like
is
I think
legal in Europe.
I definitely think Americans are way more snuffy about like it feels wrong to me.
Right.
I
I mean, it's
just think it's just
Let
like
me-
culturally. I think that it's like more so like
well. Let me clear this first. I think for society, probably prostitution's not so good, not such a good thing. It's the same way that fast food isn't, you know. But sometimes you're weak and you get a Happy Meal, right? But moving the society thing aside, well,
it's just you're trying to equate having a cheeseburger on an off day with getting
having
your dick
sex
sucked
for money.
for money.
what's the big difference?
I don't know. I mean, I guess literally nothing. I mean, at the same time, if somebody wanted to pay for sex and it was a mutual transaction, like I don't think that's necessarily wrong. It's just for me that doesn't interest
Like I
me.
would never want my daughter to do that. Terrible, awful, but you know.
But daddy gets what daddy wants, is what you're saying. daddy reaches into the honey jar and gets what's his.
I'm just saying those women they're already done for.
So there's no hope left. So it's just like,
So
well,
it's
I mean,
like,
if-
well, yeah, exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like if the food is there, let's eat.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna not have a cheeseburger.
right. Yeah, I don't know. I guess it just doesn't interest me. You know. That being said, though, I'm glad I'm married because I don't think I could do the whole dating game again.
Yeah.
Dating is terrible. I'll tell you what's the worst is like trying to like be romantic with somebody and then like also trying to like have a good conversation. You know, there's been so many like dates or whatever where it's just some women are just like,
Almost all of them.
holy fuck. That or even like we were doing this, me and my buddy were doing this double date, and just even how he was acting too was just like, it's just,
Oh, really? Was he giving it the large? was he
was-
just like,
yeah, just like, and she'd be like, she's like,
I don't know. Like, it's just like, I hate having to, like, wait. I don't know, like, be like, I didn't want corn, but he gave it to me anyways. And the guy's like, oh, God. Dude, I know what you mean. Like, it's just,
it's like, again, an episode of South Park I just watched when Bebe gets breasts.
yeah.
It's just like that.
Oh,
you're so cool and funny.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God. Do you guys notice that Bebe's kind of
Awesome now.
more attractive now? Or
She's really like funny
she's
and
just, like,
cool.
really funny and smart.
I think it's because if you don't have to develop like if you're a hot girl, if you're
Yeah, you don't
fit,
have to-
you
you
don't
don't-
have to develop a personality.
Well, the
to
world
get-
is very.
It's
kind
your
to you.
oyster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very kind to you.
And then they have the fucking hubris to pretend that it's terrible.
Just be like, I can't believe it's like the most mundane fucking excuses and problems.
Yeah. When literally like everyone waits hand and foot on you. Like you and then you know they get to like 35 or whatever and have a rude awakening.
Yeah, that's when they go into realty.
Yeah, they're like, oh wow, why are people treating me different?
I've known a lot of people recently that have gone into like realty, and I don't know what the fuck that's going on. And it feels
I
like
thought you meant like reality.
no, like
You mean like
a realtor?
Yeah, like houses.
Yeah, like so, I don't know why. There's like a weird. There's like it seems like somebody's passionate about something. It doesn't work out. You go into you're a realtor. I don't know why.
Women in particular.
Men and women.
Huh.
I've had like friends say that their wife's gone into it. I've had like guys be like, I had great hours, but it's odd. But it's always somebody that has like a particular passion that like obviously like, and then I usually don't ask, but I'll be like, well, are they still doing this? Oh, it just didn't work out, blah, blah, blah. So it feels like that's the job to go when dreams die.
I wonder why. That's interesting.
I don't know. It does feel like a common reoccurrence though, to where it can't just be, you know, a fluke. There's a lot of examples. I'd be curious if anybody in the comments, if that's happened with somebody in the comments, because even with themselves, maybe if someone's just like, I wanted to be a painter, but now I sell houses or something, or I show people apartments.
Maybe it's just like fairly lucrative and not that hard to get into. Like I doubt you have to have a degree for it, right? So
And I guess I know like the pay is good, but it just feels like that's like where, when dreams are dead, realty begins.
I kind of like this play on words. Like realty and like reality. I feel like there's a good little gag there somewhere.
A good gag.
A good little fucking joke.
It's a nice bit of a fucking fluky dookie.
Yeah, fluky dookie.
But yeah, I don't know. I think like all I know, the only realities I have in this life are 1, Don's dead.
Based.
2, dating's terrible. And 3, you become a realtor when your dreams die. Those are the three rules of life.
Watch closely at these channels because soon they're going to be nothing but realty.
Exactly. Especially mine. Me, Ken, it's like, I thought he did like those.
Come on down to the term. There's an open house. I'll take you through it.
And it's only for, yeah, exactly. It's like, I'll show you this house for 25 cents.
Ha ha.
That's your gimmick.
It's kind of like in Cobra Kai when the guy is like, it's all karate themed. Him at the dealership.
Yeah,
it would be like that for me.
We actually, Don and I saw the Cobra Kai guys at Comic-Con.
Did you meet him?
No, we just saw him.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going to wait in line behind like 200 people
It'd be funny if he did.
shake some dementia-ridden man's hand.
It's like, oh,
Yeah, I'm like,
did you like the show?
he doesn't even know what show he's talking about.
I was on the Brady Bunch.
You were? His PR guy's just like texting playing Candy Crush.
You want me to sign your breast?
Oh, man, I mean, if he would have signed my breast, that would have been... then I would have lined up.
Early. She's like, oh.
Okay, no.
She's like, let go.
Wow. It's like
Ah!
it's like boxers. Like the last thing to go is their strength. Yeah. So he's on there like a clamp.
She's like,
her fucking tits just spilling out between the gaps in his fingers.
it's like popping a pimple. She's like,
Ugh,
like a balloon.
that wasn't nice.
Been about an hour. I think that's good.
Cream Crew Podcast.
Thank you for watching Cream Crew.
Thank you. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.